Hi guys, welcome to another amazing section of Sell Your Market with Probaba, and on here we have an amazing person, Oche, which happens to be top 200 in the world on LinkedIn. You can check him out with over 100,000 connections, giving us back-to-back educational materials, which I know would be helpful to you. Okay, good to have you here, Oche.
It's so exciting to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
So on this channel, we bring in different creatives and we discuss the challenges they face and how to upscale. So you as a creative, what has been your challenge? If you want to share with us.
Well, I think I've encountered various challenges on my journey as a creative. Yeah, for sure. Today many people might see all the spotlights, the good
Okay.
things, the deals, and all of those things, and think that you had it all smooth.
Oh.
But it wasn't always like that for me, right? But I would say that for me, my greatest challenge, especially when I was starting out, was building trust as a creative. Especially as I got into the whole niche as a newbie, starting out and getting people, my target audience, potential customers, to first of all pay attention to me and then trust the things that I have to say or I had to say at the time was quite a challenge, especially seeing that of course young and just early in the space. What exactly is he trying to say? What's he saying that is not new and all of that? But I think that for me, one of the greatest things I've learned so far so good is that you have to be able to show up consistently to be able to build trust, and that was what exactly helped me throughout.
So does it mean that trust can actually hinder you from getting a lot of gigs or uh, making headway?
Of course, because as a creative business owner, entrepreneur, generally, your greatest asset is attention
Yeah,
and trust,
yeah.
right?
So true.
But it doesn't stop at attention. Most people might think, oh, if I get your attention, if I get my audience's attention, that's all. But you have to move or proceed or progress towards trust, because trust is what makes people take action. You know that popular saying, people buy from people they know, like, and
Yeah.
trust.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
so trust is definitely
So
necessary.
narrowing it down to writing, what are the constraints? What has been your challenging when it comes to writing? Because I know you write so smooth, like it's easy. We just see it on LinkedIn, like
Yes.
it's easy writing. But I
Mhm.
know there are challenges when writing. So what do you think?
Of course. For me, I would say that my first challenge, building my career as a writer, was finding my own voice. One of the things that would probably inspire you to either write or generally be a creative is the people around you, the people that you get to see who are already in that space. And oftentimes, you might want to now sound like them. Well, I want to sound like so and so influencer. I want to sound like so and so big person in the niche or in my niche, right? And in doing that, there's a very high possibility that you might lose, your own self,
So
and
you're
then
not
just be
original.
exactly,
Whoa,
and you become a
wow.
copy. But so what I did was first thing I was able to conquer was the need to sound like someone else. And so what I did is I honed my own skill, honed my own voice, found my voice, and then I started to use it. And that was what exactly moved the needle for me and my journey.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
know before now there was nothing like chat GTP, there was no tools.
Yes.
So how were you able to scale through? Because you were giving us articles, you were giving us write-up, you were giving us stuff. So how were you able to do it? Because I think so much, like, wow, you
Yeah.
inspire me a lot, but I don't know
You
if you
inspire me
know.
too. Definitely inspire me too. But so I mean, now we have various tools, that would help you out, especially as a creative, whether you're a writer, a designer, whatever. Tools that would help you to produce faster, or get results faster. But early stage, I mean, there was no ChatGPT and all of these amazing tools we're enjoying now. So for me, what I did was I was able to um, give myself the ability to create in batch.
Okay.
So most people would say, "Oh, he's very consistent. He shows up with different write-ups every other day." But it doesn't mean that I write every day. It doesn't mean that I
Okay.
create every day. So what I did at the time was I would batch create. So on the days that I had very high levels of inspiration, I would create as much, and then over time I'll be sharing what I've created. So you might think, "Oh, he's creating every other second," but it's just stuff that I've created, before that particular time. So it's always one of the things I usually would give as an advice to upcoming creators. Find ways that you can create in batches, so that even when you're not motivated on certain days, you have something that you can put out.
Good. That comes to this question. Do you think that these tools are making people lazy?
Um, so when AI came in recently and the whole trend started to go viral, everybody or most creators were like, "Oh, AI is going to steal my
Still my
job. It's
job.
going to take
Yeah,
my job
yeah,
away from
yeah.
me." But for me, I didn't fret. I wasn't scared because I already knew that AI cannot exactly steal your
Yeah.
job, right? Tools, machines, they can't steal your job because there's always that human connection that is very
Yeah.
necessary. It's what bonds all of us together. That
Mm.
connection has to be there, and AI can only do so much, right? So even if you are going to use, even if there's ChatGPT today,
Yeah.
you still need to write in your own voice.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? Who is prompting ChatGPT? It's
It's
you.
human.
Who's giving those commands? It's humans, right?
So we
So,
rather say the people using the AI would take your job, not the AI taking your job.
period, period, period.
That's
Exactly.
great. That's
Yes.
great. That's great. I've actually followed you up on LinkedIn for a while. You're
Yeah.
doing amazingly great. There's so many questions I would just want to ask, but sometimes I say the day I'm going to see Oche, I'm going to ask that question. And like, how do you do this? How do you do this? What about the days you put out content and the engagement is very low, like you see one like, two like, or just few? What happens those days?
I mean, those days can be very, very, very terrible because you might feel like giving up. But so today I might share content. You might see all of the amazing engagements,
Yeah.
in their flux on my page or on my content generally. But it wasn't always like that. Even till now, there are some pieces of content that I would say, oh, this content is going to give me a million likes,
Mm.
and I'm blown worldwide.
Yeah.
But guess what? When I share crickets, probably just a few likes, right? So for me, what I do is I don't create for machines. I don't create for the algorithm. I create for humans. So even if
Yeah.
I create and one person sees what I create and even likes it and shares a feedback as to, oh, I learned so and so from this, or this inspired me, I'm good. Because when I'm creating for one person in my mind. I'm creating for just one person. Now, over time, more people who are like that one person will get to consume my content and also, resonate with it. But my point is, I don't create for the machines. I don't create for the algorithms. I'm not necessarily bothered about how many likes, all
Okay.
of those vanity metrics. I'm more interested in how my content is going to be beneficial to that one person who consumes it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. What are the disadvantages of not engaging? Because a lot of people just feel you just come and post. You don't engage with people in your niche or people in other niche. Like,
Yes.
what are the
Yes.
disadvantages? Does it affect your page?
So, I think what most people don't understand is there are two sides to creating content. There's content creation, and then there's content distribution,
Okay.
right? So the creation part is when you obviously create and then you share, you put it out there. But the distribution part is where a lot of people miss. Now we have things like where you can do sponsored art and all of that.
Yeah.
Those are the inorganic ways. But
Inorganic, yeah.
organically, right? Leaving comments or engaging generally in people's content is very good. For example, when I started out, I wanted to get the attention of certain creators. I had zero followers, of course. So what I did is I would go and spend a good amount of time under the posts of these big creators at the time, and then I would share my feedback, share my thoughts on the things they were talking about. Now, some people who had questions on those creators' content that the creator could not see or could not answer because there are a lot, I would go and respond to those questions, and those people would see my answers, and then that's how they would come to my page and say, "Oh, wow, you have great stuff. Let me follow you." Oh, wow, I've
Value.
gotten gigs, I've gotten businesses from just leaving comments on people's posts.
Wow.
So I think it's a very, very key part of positioning yourself online.
Okay. Is there anybody you look up to, like growing? When growing, you like this person is doing something great, like
Yes,
a model or
yes.
something?
Um, I think for me, my model is Gary Vee. So Gary Vee
Same
inspires.
here too.
Same. I mean, it's Gary, right? So Gary inspires me a whole lot. I have very few people that I would say I look at them and say I want to be like this person, right? But for Gary, I've always wanted to do it like him, right? So part of the reason why I'm also very consistent is because I followed Gary Vee's process over the years,
Okay.
and I've learned how he, shows up as
So
consistently. So
what's that thing that is unique about him you like?
I think for Gary, I would say that Gary does not try to front. Gary is himself,
Yeah.
right? Most people would say I don't
I
like
think he's
Gary. He's
confident
confident in
in
himself,
himself.
right?
Yeah.
So most people want to please their audience.
Yeah.
Gary doesn't try to do that. Gary is
That's true.
confident, and then the people who um are attracted to that confidence
Yeah,
would garner towards him.
that's true.
So that's how it works, right?
That's
So you don't have to try to be another person. Be yourself, and the people or your audience or the tribe who are for you would naturally,
That's
draw
true.
towards you.
I agree with you. Okay, so what word do you have for upcoming writers or creatives that want to venture in that niche, or what do you think you want to say to them?
So this is one advice I always like to give creatives, especially upcoming creatives, right? I would always say start. And what I mean by start is, if you want to be a video creator, start creating videos. If you want to be a graphic designer, start creating graphic designs, right? You don't have to wait to get to a certain level or to have all of the equipment
That's true.
before you start. You can start your own creative process with what you have, where you are. So just start.
That reminds me, I see some throwbacks you put out, like not quality pictures,
Yes.
not quality videos.
Yes,
That should be like, this is the start.
exactly.
That's a
Exactly.
reference to, this is where I started from. I didn't wait till I got a good phone or till I got good gadgets to do my stuff. I think
Yes.
that's inspiring too.
Of course, I mean, I like to share those kinds of content just to inspire newbies, particularly, right? Let them know that, hey, I mean, you're seeing all this glamour, all this spotlight, all of these amazing things, but it wasn't always like this, right? We started from somewhere. Now you're seeing quality pictures, but I wasn't always taking quality pictures. You're seeing amazing video content, but it wasn't always like that, right? So that's why I like to even share like my journey so far.
Wow, man, your journey has been inspiring, honestly.
Thank you.
And good to have you on this platform.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait to have you again here.
Same here, man. I can't wait to be back here.
Thank you for coming around.
Thank you very much.
Like I used to say, let's milk it.
Isha.